I'm Lauren from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the TUMI Alpha X double expansion travel satchel, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe so I can keep making content to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. This bag is from their line of bags made with the PX6 material. So this is their strongest fabric to date. I'm gonna bring it up a little closer to the camera so you can see the detail of it. Essentially, this is what they describe as an ultra durable fabric with a unique combination of high strength and thermal stability. I think that's just a really fancy way of saying that this is a very durable bag. It feels kind of like a ballistic nylon. It's a little bit rough to the touch, but it feels like I picked this bag up and I was like, oh, this is like a nice quality bag. Like you can definitely feel just by like touching it that it's gonna last a while. Everything just feels really secure. On the outside here, we have some nice leather accents as well. And then like kind of across the bag, it's pretty simple. There's not like a ton going on, but it does its job pretty well. So in terms of like additional external features, on the side here, we have an included luggage tag, which is nice. Just unclips like that, and then you can open it up to view the information on the inside if you want a little bit of extra security. It's a really nice quality luggage tag too, and not super wide or anything. Sometimes luggage tags can be a little bit bulky. So fits nice and sleek on the side here. That was never in the way or anything. Additionally, we have this luggage pass-through on the back, so my hand, just goes right through if you wanted to stick this on top of your luggage. Another thing actually I do want to bring up about the fabric is it does that thing where, when you're looking at a material and there's a bunch of dots really close together and it kind of like makes you dizzy with like the depth perception. This definitely does that for me. It's doing it for me right now, which is why I wanted to bring it up. But looking at it on camera for me is a little bit different, so just kind of mileage may vary. But if that's something that would bug you, something to keep in mind. Additionally, on the outside here, we have these little like feet on the bottom of it, of the actual duffel or travel satchel as they call it. That's probably like a good inch of support. So this is essentially so when you set it down on the ground, you're not setting your bag directly on the floor. But in addition, you also have like a pretty solid base here. It's decently structured. You can see the expansion zipper right here, but this material on the bottom is super durable. So even without these feet, I'd feel pretty comfortable setting this thing down. But it is nice to just kind of like, it keeps the bag in decent shape because it's never going to be laying directly on the ground. But as you can see, it's not like the material doesn't touch the ground or anything. It's just kind of a nice addition. As for carrying this thing, we have two different options. So we have this top carry handle. This here, this unbuckles and then these separate. There's no crazy padding or anything on this. Honestly, there's really no padding at all, but they are pretty structured and pretty comfortable. I only found myself carrying it with this carry handle if I was going short distances. If I was going longer distances, I use this carry strap. And this carry strap, it looks like it wouldn't be sufficient because it's pretty it's not as wide or as long as other carry straps that we've seen on duffels, but this is like crazy comfortable. When this thing was packed out really, really heavy, I could like sling it over a shoulder or like a single shoulder or crossbody, and I found it really, really comfortable to wear. It's also just kind of like nicely padded. It's almost like it feels almost like a neoprene, like how it's just a little bit softer, pretty cushy. And it attaches on either side to like these little attachment points. We'll get into this whole situation in a bit here, but it feels pretty secure. I don't feel like I'm having any issues with it like coming off or anything like that. So that is a nice way to carry this bag if that's something that interests you as well. So this is the duffel when you have it in just like a crossbody mode. Like I mentioned, this strap here is super comfortable, and it does have two separate adjustment points. So you can adjust it with the strap. There's like a buckle here to adjust the length, and then there's a buckle on the back to adjust the length as well. I think it's like right up here, yeah. So depending on how you want it to fit, you do have some customization options, and then as well, if you wanted to carry it over one side, you can do that too. Like I said, when this thing is super full, I found this to be totally sufficient. But if you wanted to give your shoulder a break or something like that, you can also just carry it like a duffel down by your side. I've also been able to shove my arm fully through this if I needed like I don't know, sometimes you just need to like get creative with how you're grabbing all of your bags and how you're carrying everything. And this worked totally fine too, but it's definitely not intended to be carried that way. Just something that worked for me. As for gear storage on the outside, you have two options. So first off, we just have this little slip pocket right below, like where you can customize this. There's a little slip pocket below that. And this is good for like just quick grab items. I never found myself really using it. I didn't feel that it provided much that this front pocket couldn't give me, just because you don't have like, I mean, you have a decent amount of space in here, but like if you load this up with stuff, it's gonna cut into that main compartment. So for me, this is just like, if you wanted to just quickly drop something in there, you totally could, but it's nice and secure. There's a little magnet there, so it's not like it's gonna open up. And if you don't wanna use it, it's super low profile, so that's no big deal. On the front here, we have a zippered pocket. We have YKK zips all around this bag. But one thing with this pocket is I did have a couple of issues getting into it. It's actually, oh, look, it's doing it right now. That's nice. It's like gets stuck along that zipper track a little bit, and it didn't happen every single time, and I couldn't tell exactly why it was happening in that exact spot. Like, I don't know if the zipper track just bent weird, like if it's a manufacturing thing or what, but not super great to see. If you're going to be spending this much on a bag, you want it to be pretty much as smooth as possible, and that got a little bit annoying and clunky. In the scheme of things, not that big of a deal, but something that I wanted to note. So if you go into this pocket, you can see that it comes out pretty far. There are gussets here to keep it from falling completely open. But I put mostly like flatter items in here. Basically everything that was like a pouch or something larger or thicker went into this main compartment. Anything thinner that I wanted quick access to went in here. So we have this little slip pocket here where I put like any medication that I needed quick access to went in here, or like you just saw, my phone fit pretty well in there. And there's like a nice little leather accent there, which is kind of cool. And then we have a nice and long key leash. It feels like a really nice like nylon strap, and the little TUMI buckle there, which just like, you know, if you don't need it, it stays out of the way, but it's nice to have somewhere like a designated place to put your keys. And then back here we have a zippered pocket, which fits a e-reader if that's something that you're interested in, or you can put like additional flat items in there. You can put a phone, wallet, something like that. And then on the front here, we have this TUMI tracker. So you can put you can register this and put your information in. And then it makes it a little bit easier to find your bag, in addition to this little luggage tag on the outside there. All right, so let's get into the main compartment here. I'm gonna push some stuff off to the side. If you wanted to not have to deal with these straps while you're getting everything in and out of the main compartment, this just pulls down, and then it requires a little bit of effort, and then those pull off. But I'm gonna leave them on for right now. Essentially what it is we have these buckles on the side where you will, like this extra kind of like gusset that is on the bag to help you see it a little bit better. They attach here, so you unbuckle that, and then you feed it through the strap on the side. If you wanted to, you can leave this hanging around, but it's really difficult to like if you didn't have a strap here, I guess you could technically just put this, you know, over it or something like that, and then it could just hang out on the side. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, if you want to get to this bag super quickly, you can just leave these out, but if not, I recommend like feeding them through, because it just gives it like a cleaner look. So then the other side, do the same thing, unbuckle it, and then you are good to go. So it also has this lock. So right now we have it where it is ready to go. So you just press in on there, and then it opens up perfectly fine. These are lockable YKK zippers, as you can see. And then you get into this main compartment space. So having the zippers go all the way down to either side here gives you a lot larger of a look at what is inside of this bag. So this is pretty much everything that I like. I don't know. This is everything that I carried. I was able to carry a lot more though. So for example, I have 3 packing cubes in here, and then I have some stacked up clothing on the bottom. So for context, TUMI doesn't say what the capacity of this duffel is. So we reached out to them, and they still basically wouldn't commit to a liter capacity. So essentially what they said was that because of the expansion system, which I'll show you in a second, it can fluctuate so much of how much you can store in here. So for scale, I've added a couple of bulky things. So I've got 3 pairs of jeans here, which you can see, if you look at it for scale, really only comes up about halfway with the duffel. And there's still space on either side as well. So that kind of gives you like a visual idea of how much you can fit in here. So I'm just gonna shove that off to the side there. And then over here, I have 3 sweaters. So similarly bulky. For myself, I was able to overpack for like a weekend event in this thing. But I was able to get this like really completely full and still zip it shut and had no problems. So that was with the expansion system. So I had like a couple events going on, so I needed to bring a bunch of stuff. But I was able, for a different trip, I was able to fit like a bunch of shoes in here. All of my packing cubes, pouches, it was warmer weather, so I didn't have all of this bulky stuff. So I was able to get a lot more in here and still feel like I had some space to play with. But if you wanted to do that expansion system here, I'm gonna zip this up for ease of visibility here. You see the zippers on this side, these zip fully around. So there are 2 zippers, meaning that you can technically just unzip one or the other. I don't know why you would really need to. Like at this point, you might as well just unzip it. You can see that it gets a little bit difficult to unzip down here. That's because it's just a little bit structured, but I'd rather have it feel secure than be super easy to come undone. And then with this expansion zipper, you have what TUMI says is 13 inches of additional storage space. So again, not committing to a capacity, but you can see this is not expanded. And then when you do expand it, that is how much extra space you get. So it really is like, this is a pretty durable, pretty customizable duffel. If you are somebody who prefers duffel travel, or if you have like a carry-on luggage, like rolling luggage, and you wanted something to put on top of that that can also fit a ton of gear, this is a really great option. If you look at the bottom there, you can see all of that expansion. So in short, if this is something that you think is worth investing in, I think it's super, super quality. I would say out of like duffel style bags, this is one of like my personal favorites that I've used. I just feel like it's super functional and easy to get to all of my stuff, and I wasn't like fighting with the zippers or anything trying to get it open and get to all my gear. So there you have it, the TUMI Alpha X Double Expansion Travel Satchel. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.